Okay, everyone, welcome to day 19 of the 30-day Trader Induction. This one is Elliott Wave Theory. Now, if candlestick formations allow you to pinpoint the entries and support and resistance tells you where to take these entries, and market structure tells you where the market might be heading towards and heading away from, then what Elliott Wave Theory allows you to do is actually calculate when and where these reversal points will occur in terms of their sequence. So when these trends start to shift from bullish to bearish and exhaust. So when we're dealing with Elliott Wave Theory, we are looking at a 5-wave or a 3-wave structure. So generally speaking, we have a market that is bearish, which is making lower lows and lower highs. And that is the way we can identify when a market is trending to the downside. And if it's trending to the upside, it is making higher highs and higher lows as such. Now, what Elliott Wave Theory allows us to do is actually count how many of these waves will occur before the trend should shift. And the 3 and the 5 wave count is the best way to do this. So wave 1 is usually a run, wave 2 is a pullback, wave 3 is a run, wave 4 is a pullback, and wave 5 is a run. And then what Elliott Wave Theory suggests is that the next wave run will be the wave that breaks out through the prior structural point. We have a new wave 1 breakout, we have a wave 2 pullback, a wave 3 run, and so on and so forth, before then continuing that sequence back to the other side. Now, in terms of the 5-wave count, what we actually have is 2 variations of pullbacks within the waves. So waves 1, 3, and 5 are runs, which are impulsive legs, and the 2 pullbacks on wave B and wave D, or wave 2 and wave 4, are the pullbacks. So are the pullbacks that have 2 different variations. So a wave 1 breakout, and then we have a simple wave 2 pullback, a wave 3 run, and then we have a complex wave 4 pullback down into a wave 5 run. The complex pullback is usually indicative of having a 2 touch points on the bottom and 2 touch points on the top, like so. Sometimes they'll be done at the double top like this. Sometimes we'll break higher and form more of a pennant flag type situation like this. Either is fine. We're basically kind of just waiting for those 2 touch points on either side before that continuation when we're dealing with a complex pullback. So wave 1, 3, and 5 are the runs, and wave 2 and 4 are the pullbacks, and the wave 2 and wave 4 can differentiate between a complex and a simple pullback. And the way we can identify this on a live chart is just by looking at the difference between a impulsive market and a corrective market. So, for example, we have a very impulsive run to the upside, and then we have a large, deeper, complex retracement, wave 2, then a wave 3 run, and a wave 4 simple pullback up into wave 5. So it's quite messy, and it's never going to be picture perfect, but that's ultimately what we're looking to do, is just instead of getting caught up in all of the tiny price fluctuations, we're just looking for that wave 1 breakout, a complex wave 2, wave 3 breakout, simple wave 4, wave 5 run. And that's all we're really doing. We're just looking at the markets moving and flowing at the swings, at the extremes, and we can kind of identify where the market's going to reverse. So we get to the end of wave 5, and then we start a new wave count theory. Now, this one's kind of just stopped and ranged around, so that wouldn't really be necessarily be classified within the Elliott market wave theory. It's just a range-bound market. You could probably go into that on a lower time frame and find it, but that wave 1 breakout is what we're looking for to initiate that next step of that next phase. We can go from a 5-wave count into a range and then into a new 5-wave count. Here we have the wave 1 breakdown, the wave 2 pullback, a simple pullback, and now this could be a wave 3 run here. Maybe we're going to continue just chopping around before continuing, who knows, or maybe even this could just turn into a complex pullback before getting that wave 3 run, simple pullback, and wave 5 run, and then this becomes the, and then that becomes the complex pullback there. So Elliott Wave Theory, whilst I don't necessarily use it in this way that I've just mentioned of timing the ends of runs and the ends of trends with the 5 wave count. What I personally use Elliott Wave Theory to identify is the simple wave 1 breakout, wave 2 pullback to a wave 3 run. As simple as that. I like the 3 waves, just wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Impulse, correction, impulse. Because then that allows me to just throw it onto lots of different scenarios and situations without necessarily trying to tie in a whole story of 5 wave counts and then a trend change, or into a ranging market, then a trend change. So Elliott Wave Theory, whilst does play out and it does hold a lot of weight and a lot of people do use it, I personally just like to use it to identify the difference between ranging markets, impulsive markets, and markets in a corrective state. So I'm going to box this video off here. I don't think there's going to be too much more that I can add to Elliott Wave Theory. Like I said, I don't necessarily use it from a strategical perspective, but more so from a framework of just outlining when the market is breaking out, when it's pulling back into a level, and where we're expecting the next wave to expand out to. So with that being said, I'll box it off here and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.